Hello, everyone. I'm sitting here in Richardson Auditorium, where we have enjoyed so many concerts together over the years. It feels strange to be here without you, and yet the very space itself speaks of your presence. You will soon be hearing a special concert presentation by our old friends, the Takach Quartet, and I want to give you a bit of a preview of that event. For one thing, it will be our first opportunity to see and hear the quartet perform with its newest member, violist Richard O'Neill. It may also be the very first time you will hear music by the British composer Samuel Coleridge Taylor. Samuel Coleridge Taylor was born in 1875. He was a man of many parts. Of both European and African descent, he made a mark as a composer, as a conductor, and as an activist. His mother was an Englishwoman. His father hailed from Sierra Leone. Coleridge Taylor saw it as his mission to raise the dignity of people of color, which he largely did through his music, for he promoted indigenous music of folks of color. In this regard, he idolized Antonin Dvorak, who encouraged American composers to take advantage of our rich tradition of spirituals. Coleridge Taylor was also a terrific conductor who did some guest conducting in New York City. In fact, he visited the USA 3 times, all at the invitation of the Coleridge Taylor Choral Society, founded in Washington, D.C. in 1901 for black singers. Imagine having a choral society named after you at age 26. Coleridge Taylor's music was even performed here at Princeton about 100 years ago, as part of this very series of Princeton University concerts, when Swedish contralto Sigrid Onegin sang one of his songs in 1924. Like Mozart and like Schubert, Coleridge Taylor was precocious. And also, like those two composers, sad to say, he died in his 30s, in the year 1912. He was clearly a name to reckon with in the music world, and his early death robbed us of plenty of wonderful music. Samuel Coleridge Taylor is not the only composer on our upcoming program. He will be joined by Wolfgang Mozart, Béla Bartók, and Claude Debussy. Thus, our concert will feature music from 4 distinctive corners of the world of Western music. We will begin in Austria with the first movement of Mozart's quartet in D minor, K421, one of his so-called Haydn quartets. Then we will move to the UK for several movements of Coleridge Taylor's 5 fantasy pieces for string quartet, followed by Hungary and the final movement of Bartók's String Quartet No. 1, and then France for the last 2 movements of Debussy's String Quartet. You may be thinking that it is unusual to hear selected movements of these quartets rather than the complete works. But this is one of the new ways that art music is being programmed during the pandemic, a situation that has presented both challenges and opportunities to musicians and their presenters. The challenges are obvious, but the opportunities? Well, this historical moment allows musicians and presenters to do things differently. For example, our upcoming concert with the Takach Quartet will open with some beginning movements and end with some final movements. The first half will thus be more about beginnings, and the last half more about endings. And the Takach Quartet, like many other musicians these days, are reaching back into history, finding great music that has not enjoyed canonic prominence. I think you will agree with me that Samuel Coleridge Taylor deserves recognition, and you will likely have the same reaction I had. Why haven't I heard this music before? As an audience, you will not be sitting in this space trying to be as quiet as possible. You'll be at home, so this is your chance to act out. If you like something, why not shout your approval, yes? This could be a liberating experience. You could even be like audiences from a few centuries ago. If they liked a movement of a Mozart or Beethoven symphony, for example, they would make that obvious. Sometimes they wouldn't quiet down until the musicians performed that movement again. They certainly did not maintain reverent silence throughout a performance. So you no longer have to be quiet church mice. You can roar like lions. Oh, sorry, like tigers. Thanks, folks, and be well.